This week marks the National Will Week. The Law Society of South Africa introduced this initiative to encourage people to get their last will and testament drafted to avoid disadvantages of dying without one. Eunice Masipa is Vice President of the Law Society of South Africa and joins us now to discuss this. Eunice, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. From the time you introduce, this day several years ago, have you seen any improvement?
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me. Of course, we have seen improvement, and I believe it's one of the reasons why the Law Society has continued with this program on a yearly basis. And the reason why this project was initiated by the LSSA was in line with also one of our objectives, which is to ensure that there is access to justice to those who are possibly indigent and those who are not or ordinarily would not be aware of these processes that are available for them to explore. So to answer the question, we have seen a great improvement.
Have you, alongside that, been able to determine what it was that sort of stopped people from doing what they have since been able to do? In other words, was it lack of information, access to the right information or services? What was the problem?
What we have identified as the main problem was that people did not understand the importance of having a will. They are aware that, there is a document called a will that will ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes at the time of your death, but they did not know that they could also access that. And mainly because some of them thought that they did not have enough assets to utilize this important instrument to distribute their estate. Most of them also, it was due to lack of awareness. And since the LSSA implemented this initiative, we have been able to reach greater audience in terms of the public. And now they are aware that there is this service. They are aware that there is this important legal document that any living person, regardless of the amount of assets one could have, may utilize it. Vuyo, it goes to as far as in your will, you can detail as to who you wish to look after your pet at the time of your death. You can also choose who will be the guardian of your minor children at the time of your death. So it does not necessarily include the managing of assets only.
So you don't need really to have assets in the manner I think most people assume in order for you to see the necessity of having one. Now, you don't have to have a big expensive house, or a car, an SUV, or something like that.
Correct. That is actually correct, Vuyo. One does not need to have the biggest estate or properties, cars, houses. As I said, it can go as far as who looks after your pet, who do you want to inherit your most prized jacket. I believe there are also family heirlooms that you would want to go to a specific person. It's not always about property. It's not always about liquid cash or any investments. So if there is anything that you deem very important to you and that you want to have a say as to who takes it or who inherits it, I believe it's very important, because if you do not have a will at the time of your death, these assets will be distributed in accordance with the interstate succession, and it will go to people who would not be people of your choice to inherit your most prized possessions.
Who I leave my bow ties with. But how involved is the process, and how expensive is it even?
Look, it's not an expensive process, but I'll speak to it in the context of Wills Week. And this is also to ensure that anybody can access it, because now the LSSA is offering this service for free to anyone around the country. We've got a pool of attorneys who are available to assist the public if they want to have a will or they want to have a will drafted. So from the 16th to the 20th of September, anybody who wishes to have a will can access this service for free of charge, and they should just look which attorney in their province or in their specific town is registered to offer free wills during the period of the 16th to the 20th of September.
That means what? Going online, calling a number, or texting a number?
Okay, this would mean that they would need to go to the Law Society's website, which is www.lssa.org.za, and they would then go to the Wills Week portal, and there would be a list of registered attorneys in the specific province, and then it will also go to a specific town, and then you will then have to contact those attorneys directly to set up a consultation with them. Now, this service only includes the drafting of a will. It does not include the execution of it at the time of your passing.
Explain that to me.
Well, execution would mean that when you die, one would then have to choose an executor. This is also one of the points you would include in your will, where you would choose who will then be responsible to distribute your assets. It could be a family member, but we advise that when you choose a family member, just ensure that you also choose an attorney as a co-executor, just to ensure that the legal implications are dealt with. And, that is also, it's a service that will then come once you have passed. But the services that we offer are only limited to the drafting of a will.
Outside of your organization, the Law Society of South Africa, are you aware of any other people, entities, or even government entities that sort of help people in the event they are not able to access your services, or in other words, beyond the 20th?
I think one can also approach the legal aid, but before I go to that, Vuyo, I just want to mention that we have noticed as the LSSA that during this Wills Week, we have companies which will then claim that they form part of the LSSA's Wills Week initiative. And I just want to state that if you want to utilize the attorneys in the LSSA, you would then have to go specifically to the Law Society's website. We have not partnered with any company or any institution during this Wills Week. But after the Wills Week, if anybody wants to have a will drafted, I would always strongly advise that one utilizes the services of an attorney, because in that way, they ensure that all the legal technicalities are dealt with. I cannot recommend any other institution or any other organization that can assist with that service, except to say that one must just ensure they have an attorney involved in the drafting of the will.